11 Stars Over Andalusia by Mahmoud Darwish. This is for the people of, and I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Shijaiya in Palestine, being massacred as I speak. Oh, great. There's no wire on this. On our last evening on this land, we chop our days from our young trees, count the ribs we'll take with us, and the ribs we'll leave behind. On the last evening, we bid nothing farewell, nor find the time to end. Everything remains as it is. It is the place that changes our dreams and its visitors. Suddenly, we're incapable of irony. This land will now host atoms of dust. Here on our last evening, we look closely at the mountains besieging the clouds, a conquest and a counter-conquest, and an old time handing this new time the keys to our doors. So enter our houses, conquerors, and drink the wine of our mellifluous muwasha. We are the night at midnight, and no horseman will bring dawn from the sanctuary of the last call to prayer. Our tea is green and hot, drink it. Our pistachios are fresh, eat them. The beds are of green cedar, fall on them. Following this long siege, lie down on the feathers of our dreams. The sheets are crisp, perfumes are ready by the door, and there are plenty of mirrors. Enter them so we may exit completely. Soon we will search in the margins of your history in distant countries for what was once our history. And in the end, we will ask ourselves, was Andalusia here or there, on the land or in the poem? How can I write my people's testament above the clouds when they abandon time as they do their coats at home? My people who raise each fortress they build and pitch on its ruins a tent. Nostalgic for the beginning of palm trees. My people betray my people in wars over salt, but Granada is made of gold, of silken words woven with almonds, of silver tears and the string of a lute. Granada is a law unto herself. It befits her to be whatever she wants to be. Nostalgia for anything long past or which will pass. A swallow's wing brushes a woman's breast, and she screams, "Granada is my body." In the meadow, someone loses a gazelle, and he screams, "Granada is my country," and I come from there. So sing until from my ribs the goldfinches can build a staircase to the nearer sky. Sing of the chivalry of those who ascend moon by moon to their death in the beloved's alley. Sing the birds of the garden, stone by stone, how I love you, who have broken me, string by string, on the road to her heated night. Sing how after you the smell of coffee has no morning. Sing of my departure from the cooing of doves on your knees and from my soul nesting in the mellifluous letters of your name. Granada is for singing, so sing. There is a sky beyond the sky. There is a sky beyond the sky for my return, but I am still burnishing the metal of this place, living in an hour that foresees the unseen. I know that time cannot twice be on my side, and I know that I will leave. I'll emerge with wings from the banner I am, bird that never alights on trees in the garden. I will shed my skin and my language. Some of my words of love will fall into Lorca's poems. He'll live in my bedroom and see what I have seen of the Bedouin moon. I'll emerge from almond trees like cotton on sea foam. The stranger past carrying 700 years of horses. The stranger past here to let the stranger pass there. In a while, I'll emerge a stranger from the wrinkles of my time, alien to Syria and Andalusia. This land is not my sky, yet this evening is mine. The keys are mine, the minarets are mine, the lamps are mine, and I am also mine. I am Adam of the two Edens, I who lost paradise twice. So expel me slowly and kill me slowly under my olive tree along with Lorca. And I am one of the kings of the end. I jump off my horse in the last winter. I am the last gasp of an Arab. I do not look for myrtle over the roofs of our houses, nor do I look around. No one should know me. No one should recognize me. No one who knew me when I polished marble words to let my woman step barefoot over dappled light. I do not look into the night. I mustn't see a moon that once lit up all the secrets of Granada, body by body. I do not look into the shadow so as not to see somebody carrying my name and running after me. Take your name away from me and give me the silver of the white poplar. I do not look behind me so I won't remember. I've passed over this land. There is no land in this land since time broke around me shard by shard. I was not a lover believing that water is a mirror, as I told my old friends. And no love can redeem me, for I've accepted the peace accord, and there is no longer a present left to let me pass. Tomorrow, close to yesterday, Castile will raise its crown above God's minaret. I hear the rattling of keys in the door of our golden history. Farewell to our history. Will I be the one to close the last door of the sky? I, the last gasp of an Arab. One day I will sit on the pavement of the estranged. I was no Narcissus. Still, I defend my image in the mirrors. Haven't you been here once before, stranger? 500 years have passed, but our breakup wasn't final, and the messages between us never stopped. The wars did not change the gardens of my Granada. One day I'll pass its moons and brush my desire against a lemon tree. Embrace me and let me be reborn from the sense of sun and river on your shoulders, from your feet that scratch the evening until it weeps milk to accompany the poem's night. I was not a passerby in the woods of singers. I was the words of the singers, the reconciliation of Athens and Persia, an East embracing West embarked on one essence. Embrace me that I may be born again from Damascene swords hanging in shops. Nothing remains of me but my old shield and my horse's gilded saddle. Nothing remains of me but manuscripts of Averroes, the collar of the dove, and translations. On the pavement in the square of the daisy, I was counting the doves, 1, 2, 30, and the girls snatching the shadows of the young trees over the marble, leaving me leaves yellow with age. Autumn passed me by, and I did not notice the entire season had passed. Our history passed me on the pavement, and I did not notice. Truth has two faces, and the snow falls black on our city. We can feel no despair beyond our despair, and the end, firm in its step, marches to the wall, marching on tiles that are wet with our tears. Who will bring down our flags, we or they, and who will recite the peace accord, O King of the dying? Everything's prepared for us in advance. Who will tear our names from our identity, you or they, and who will instill in us the speech of wanderings? We were unable to break the siege. Let us then hand the keys to our paradise to the minister of peace and be saved. Truth has two faces. To us, the holy emblem was a sword hanging over us. So what did you do to our fortress before this day? You didn't fight, afraid of martyrdom. Your throne is your coffin. Carry, then, the coffin to save the throne, O King of waiting. This exodus will leave us only a handful of dust. Who will bury our days after us, you or they? And who will raise their banners over our walls, you or a desperate night? Who will hang their bells on our journey, you or a miserable guard? Everything is fixed for us. Why then this unending conclusion, O King of dying? Who am I after the night of the estranged? I wake from my dream, frightened of the obscure daylight on the marble of the house, of the sun's darkness and the roses, of the water of my fountain, frightened of milk on the lip of the fig, of my language, frightened of wind that frightened combs a willow, frightened of the clarity of petrified time, of a present no longer a present, frightened passing a world that is no longer my world. Despair, be merciful. Death, be a blessing on the stranger who sees the unseen more clearly than a reality that is no longer real. I'll fall from a star in the sky into a tent on the road to where? Where is the road to anything? I see the unseen more clearly than a street that is no longer my street. Who am I after the night of the estranged? Through others I once walked toward myself, and here I am losing that self. Those others, my horse disappeared by the Atlantic, and by the Mediterranean I bleed, stabbed with a spear. Who am I after the night of the estranged? I cannot return to my brothers under the palm tree of my old house, and I cannot descend to the bottom of my abyss. You, the unseen, love has no heart in which I can dwell after the night of the estranged. O water, be a string to my guitar. The conquerors arrived and the old conquerors left. It is difficult to remember my face in the mirrors. Water, be my memory. Let me see what I have lost. Who am I after this exodus? I have a rock with my name on it, a hill from which I see what's long gone. 700 years escort me beyond the city wall. In vain time turns to let me salvage my past from a moment that gives birth to my exile and others to my guitar. O water, be a string. The conquerors arrived and the old conquerors left, heading southward, repairing their days in the trash heap of change. I know who I was yesterday, but who will I be in a tomorrow under Columbus's Atlantic banners? Be a string to my guitar, O water. There is no Mizar in Egypt, no Fez in Fez, and Syria draws away. There is no falcon in my people's banner, no river east of the palm groves, besieged by the Mongols' fast horses. In which Andalusia do I end? Here or there, I will know I've perished, and that here I've left the best part of me, my past. Nothing remains but my guitar. Then be to my guitar a string, O water. The old conquerors left, the new conquerors arrived. In the Exodus, I love you more. In a while, you will lock the city's gates. There is no heart for me in your hands and no road anywhere from my journey. In this demise, I love you more. After your breast, there is no milk for the pomegranate at our window. Palm trees have become weightless. The hills have become weightless. And streets in the dusk have become weightless. The earth has become weightless as it bids farewell to its dust. Words have become weightless, and stories have become weightless on the staircase of night. My heart alone is heavy, so let it remain here around your house, barking, howling for a golden time. It alone is my homeland. In the Exodus, I love you more. I empty my soul of words, I love you more. We depart. Butterflies lead our shadows. In Exodus, we remember the lost buttons of our shirts. We forget the crown of our days. We remember the apricot sweat. We forget the dance of horses on festival nights. In departure, we become only the birds' equals, merciful to our days, grateful for the least. I am content to have the golden dagger that makes my murdered heart dance. Kill me then, slowly, so I may say, I love you more than I had said before the Exodus. I love you. Nothing hurts me, neither air nor water, neither basil in your morning nor iris in your evening. Nothing hurts me after this departure. I want from love only the beginning. Doves patch over the squares of my Granada. This day's shirt, there is wine in our clay jars for the feast after us. In the songs, there are windows enough for blossoms to explode. I leave jasmine in the vase. I leave my young heart in my mother's cupboard. I leave my dream laughing in water. I leave the dawn in the honey of the figs. I leave my day and my yesterday in the passage to the square of the orange where doves fly. Did I really descend to your feet so speech could rise? A white moon and the milk of your nights, pound the air so I could see the street of the flute blue, pound the evening so I could see how this marble between us suffers. The windows are empty of the orchards of your shawl. In another time I knew so much about you. I picked gardenias from your 10 fingers. In another time there were pearls for me around your neck, and a name on a ring whose gem was darkness shining. I want from love only the beginning. Doves flew in the last sky. They flew and flew in that sky. There is still wine after us in the barrels and jars. A little land will suffice for us to meet. A little land will be enough for peace. Violins weep with gypsies going to Andalusia. Violins weep for Arabs leaving Andalusia. Violins weep for a time that does not return. Violins weep for a homeland that might return. Violins set fire to the woods of that deep, deep darkness. Violins tear the horizon and smell my blood in the vein. Violins weep with gypsies going to Andalusia. Violins weep for Arabs leaving Andalusia. Violins are horses on a phantom string of moaning water. Violins are the ebb and flow of a field of wild lilacs. Violins are monsters touched by the nail of a woman now distant. Violins are an army building and filling a tomb made of marble. Violins are the anarchy of hearts driven mad by the wind and a dancer's foot. Violins are flocks of birds fleeing a torn banner. Violins are complaints of silk creased in the lover's night. Violins are the distant sound of wine falling on a previous desire. Violins follow me everywhere in vengeance. Violins seek me out to kill me everywhere they find me. Violins weep for Arabs leaving Andalusia. Violins weep with gypsies going to Andalusia.